Hi, I'm Maggie Colwell with Chiron Art Therapy, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I really got into um, Jungian oriented art therapy, what my interest is in art and ritual, and a little bit about my history of what that story has been. So, as a kid, I was always interested in learning things about the past, um, mythology, religion, ritual. I kind of wanted to know what life was about and what being human meant. And some of those questions are out in the world, and some of them are kind of metaphysical questions. So I was always curious, always interested in mystery. My favorite holiday was Halloween because I liked the spooky stuff. I liked the mystery. I was like, what is in the dark and why do these stories persist? Is there something out there? So that's a little bit about where I was as a kid. And the first time I ever went to therapy for myself was an art therapist in Philadelphia. And he was not only an art therapist, but a Buddhist who had a ritual practice of his own. And I was intrigued by the combination of working with art as a ritual practice. The homework that I had, I would basically go into trance and rather than free writing, kind of do free art and see what came out of it. I'd bring the art in and then we'd dialogue with it. Or we would dialogue with a bit of the art, but see where it was living in my body and then dialogue through active imagination with my body. So it's really interesting when you are able to get into altered states of consciousness, how you're able to connect and through fantasy, through imagination, get images, insight, conversation with different parts of yourself that kind of expand your consciousness on how you're making decisions, um, kind of trying to integrate your emotions, knowing where to go and kind of get more in harmony with what's going on kind of under the surface as well as what you're already consciously aware of. So I really enjoyed that process. At one point, he's like, "Whoa, you're really good at this." And I kind of chuckled because I had been doing kind of years of study at that point. I guess this was like 2006. I had gotten involved with the women's spirituality movement, with feminism, and also with a syncretic Western mysteries tradition that was Wiccan as well. So I had started training in a Wiccan style of magic in 2001. So I was really kind of already deep into trance work, shamanism, visioning as part of my spiritual path. So I already had some of that tool set going on. Did not stay in therapy very long that particular time. You know, I was in my early 20s at that point. I had a lot going on. Um, but I continued my metaphysical training. And I did that for over a decade. At one point, I was teaching up and down the East Coast. I think I taught one thing at PantheaCon over in California. Um, for a little while, I was teaching with the Magica School in Britain. That was an online thing. Um, and I was running a group in northern New Jersey for a couple of years as well. So very involved in conferences and festivals, mentoring individuals, and I got so much out of it. It was inspiring. I enjoyed putting together an experience for people. The thing I really enjoyed the most out of all of it was watching somebody start out and feel like they didn't know what they were doing and gain a sense of confidence and increase their power, and watching that kind of exponentially affect the rest of their life. And I was like, this is cool. I really like helping people in this way. Fast forward a little bit, 2013, worst year of my life. Um, I left my spiritual tradition. I left my husband. I left my job. I moved 1,000 miles to Florida to be closer to my family. Um, and after a few years, changed my career. I went back to school for art therapy. Before that, I was working in commercial risk management insurance, which is not a good um, career path for an artist. But hey, Carl Jung said that the first 40 years of your life are research, and that at 40, that's when life really starts. So, as far as I'm concerned, that insurance thing, I learned a lot about business and working with people, but honestly, that was not where I was supposed to be. And I'm glad I was able to make a huge about face and really change the direction I was going in career wise, because art therapy has been fabulous. So, as I was learning the rules of art therapy and trying to understand how do I put theory into practice, when I started that, I was kind of very must be professional. This is the identity of a therapist, and this is how I act ethically. And I was kind of like, um, regimented, I guess is the best word. But I had a realization a couple months ago. I did a workshop on active imagination, and I decided I was going to challenge myself, that I was going to use my skill sets in running ritual, in trance work. I took an NLP certification at one point. So I do kind of have a way of leading people into it and helping them get into that altered states of consciousness. And I combined it with journal prompts and art therapy techniques and some active imagination, visioning, kind of creative art making and dialoguing with the image in the way that I had originally experienced back in 2006 when I first tasted what therapy might be like for myself. Um, and then, boom, I've been inspired ever since. So that's really exciting as an artist, to get a burst of inspiration, and be able to trust yourself to go with it and really see where it goes. So I'm still kind of on that ride right now. And I decided that what I had learned in my pagan and metaphysical training was tools. I mean, it's not really about religion. It was about um, understanding how our mind works, how altered states of consciousness work. Gave me a real good appreciation for working with the mind, the emotions, the body all together in a way that is inspiring and engaging and exciting. Um, and you can do that whether it's like individually in personal work, and through introspection, to kind of work with those pieces and question things for yourself, to like really get down deep into it, as well as coming together in a community, feeling supported. And I used um, the analogy the other day of, have you ever heard of a one person choir? Well, it doesn't work that way. So when we come together, there's something that's created that shares that energy, that creates that group consciousness, where we get elevated, and it amplifies the energy in a way that on an individual level you don't, with one person singing as opposed to a whole bunch of people together. So I really want to be able to combine those different aspects that I really enjoyed in my life. And I said, like, this is something that I have been missing for almost 10 years now in my life. And I was saying to myself, like, I really miss this, but I don't want to be involved in just the pagan community because I have all this other training. I'm kind of a serious person. I want to really get into something that I find stimulating. Um, and it's not just about hanging out or play or going to a party anymore for me. Um, so there was that piece of it. And the other piece of it was when I was running a group in the past, I was spending probably 40 hours a week on it, loving it. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't have that kind of energy. And I really got to think about it from a therapeutic standpoint, an exchange of energy. Is that if I'm putting all of this energy out and people want to be engaged with it, that it's also something where, there needs to be that flow of energy back and forth. And what is energy? In this culture, it's money. So I was like, yeah, I can do this. I think it's valuable. I think all of the skill sets are kind of coming together to offer people something that they don't have otherwise. That's where the idea of Arts Coven came from, is like, how do I use art making, which is so engaging, um, in a way that can help people engage with their inner world and give them insight. And so that's where it came from, is trying to get to a blend of that. Um, and I think it's going to be really worthwhile. I am sure that as I stay inspired, I'll be taking your feedback and kind of layering it into what we're doing so people can really, get their questions answered and get help on their specific interests and issues as we move forward. And as we continue to build it, we'll see where it goes. So that's a little bit about my background, where this idea came from, and I am hoping that I will see you next week, starting on July 25th. I'll be teaching a class on archetypes, kind of giving you a background of what archetypes are and what meaning they have for us in our lives. I'll be sending some journal prompts, some information about how to work in sync with the dark moon, for more of this kind of self-inquiry work that I'm talking about, and putting out some more videos. And then on the 31st, we'll be having an arts-based ritual as well that we'll be talking about personal harvest and sacrifice, and hopefully that'll be building on some of the journal prompts that you will have already worked with during the week. And that's going to be on Sunday afternoon. So the workshop, the journal prompts, all of that is going to be recorded, will be sent to you, so you don't have to be there in person. The rituals I'm not going to record because I feel like I said, you work together to have that increased state of consciousness, and that energy needs to be in harmony during that time. So we're not going to record those. But I can definitely provide like an outline of what we did and kind of a little bit of a discussion if that was something that you wanted to do on your own. So I hope that you join us. To sign up, there is a sign up form on www.artscoven.com/open circle. You can just go ahead and sign up even if you can't make it in person, because there's lots of goodies that you'll have access to as well. So hope to see you soon. If you have any questions, let me know. I want to continue to share with you my background, my vision for this, and have us really work together on it. Thanks.